Welcome, everyone. I'm sorry for the delay. There's been a little bit of a glitch, but I am still happy to be here with you and that you'll all have a chance to be able to hear from our amazing Michelle Griffith Davis today. And hi, my name is Julie Landy, and I'm your host for this Vision Talk series. They are short, inspirational sessions that really are for the faith-filled, adventurous soul longing for more and wanting to see a great next chapter in their life. Today, we have with us a dear friend, Michelle Griffith Davis. She is a wife, a mother, an author, an international and motivational speaker, and the founder of empoweredtodream.com. I am so super excited because she has been an amazing friend for many years. And most recently, she was the CBS's nominee for Most Remarkable Woman. And on top of that, she's a Live Your Vision graduate. So I'm super happy to have her with us. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us. Can you just say hello to everyone today?
Oh, yes. Hello, beautiful ladies. I'm so glad you're here. And I just want to thank Julie, who's always been such an inspiration to me. I just love her so much. And I'm just so grateful for her work because really I'm here because of her.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend. I so appreciate it. So let's jump in. Let's just talk a little bit about with our listeners today about because they're women just like you and me, women that really believe that they have more inside of them. Tell us a little bit about where you were at before you joined Live Your Vision and maybe why you decided to join Live Your Vision.
Great question. That I joined Live Your Vision in 2017. And at the time, Julie, I was going through a transition with my life. I was just transitioning from the ministry into a new career. I was leaving Atlanta to go to Alabama. And during that time, it was a very painful time for me. I was experiencing loss of relationships. I was experiencing my daughter, Jacqueline. My oldest daughter her health started declining in 2017. I was emotionally feeling stuck. My purpose, I didn't understand where I was with my relationship with God. And so it was so painful for me. And then I remember one day looking on my Facebook page, and here I'm watching Julie, my friend Julie Landy, sitting on a yacht drinking her wine. And I knew you were transitioning too, kind of, because you were starting this program. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, why is she driving and I'm looking so sad? And you're on this yacht and the wind is blowing through your hair and you're having your glass of wine. I said, wait a minute. I got to call her. She is doing something that I want to know more about.
Yeah, it was so funny. It was so happy to be reconnected to you because obviously we'd known each other from many years ago in the ministry. But I appreciate first and foremost your vulnerability, Michelle. And that's one of the things I always love about you. You're so real. You're so authentic. You're so down to earth. So can you tell us, I appreciate you even saying that because it was a rough transition for all of us. It's not always easy making transitions in your life, whatever that means, whether you're becoming an empty nester, whether you're moving from one career to another, whether you're beginning a new career, or you've lost some relationships, as you said, whether it's health issues or whatever. You had multiple things going on, similar to myself. Can you tell me then, first of all, I'm so thrilled that you joined us, and I was so thrilled when you called, but can you tell us a little bit about what you felt like your biggest takeaways? What did you get that was so helpful to you from our Live Your Vision program?
Yes, I could definitely tell you. My biggest takeaway with Live Your Vision, first of all, I loved how you created a space, that dream space for 10 months. Every week we would talk about the possibilities of having a next and what that would look like. And I remember feeling like, wow, Julie has given me permission. She's given me permission to even think out of the box because for so long, most of my life, for 22 years, just doing, being a pastor's wife for my husband and being a women's ministry leader, what I was doing, I really felt like it was very restrictive, that I was living in a box. It was only one way to think. There was only one way to do things. And so for me, just having the possibility that I could create my next chapter, that I could really do something else, it was freeing. It was so amazing. I remember one of the assignment, you had us test our strengths. And so I remember just learning so much about me and just what I was good at, what my gifts were, and also the community, just seeing how the other women in the community, everybody's ideas together. It was just so much fun, and is what I needed, because when you have a lot of failure in your life and a lot of pain and you feel lost, you really could get you could just get really distracted about not knowing what to do, or not knowing who to talk to, or not knowing where to go. And so being in that circle of women really inspired me and gave me hope that I could think differently and even have another whole new life if I trusted myself.
Yeah, isn't that amazing how when you actually dig into who God created you to be, how there's so many clues to where you're meant to go next. And we're kind of scared and afraid to look into ourselves. We've been having this conversation of, denying self, which obviously as Christians, we need to do that, to be more like Christ. However, really, we do not need to look past ourselves, because we are created by God. And sometimes we misinterpret that. We want to be able to dig into who God created us to be. And you did that so beautifully. I remember, like, every time you come to class, you'd be like, oh, this is like a breath of fresh air. And it was so fun, because it was like peeling away these layers and seeing who Michelle really is and who God created. I remember being in awe just listening to your story. I'm like, oh gosh, you're so gifted. You're so talented. And tears and time together that was so moving, so faith building. Honestly, it unlocked a new chapter for both of our faiths in our partnership together. So on that note, which is what I wanted to share, can't wait to unleash you on now, is just tell us what you've done since that time, because the seeds and the watering and all the discovery time has really given birth to a whole new chapter for you. So tell us what you're up to now.
Okay. Well, you sound like my husband, because my husband has been telling me that basically these last 3 years since I graduated from Live Your Vision, I basically gave myself permission to just walk in that space of just becoming who I am meant to be. I mean, I read the Bible differently. And what I found out was that all the promises in the Bible, they're personal. The Bible says in Jeremiah 29, I know the plans I have for you. That was so personal, that God knows the plan he has for me. And I just fell in love with his promises. I fell in love with the fact that I could be who I am, because I was such a conformer. You know what I mean? I was the person when I wanted to walk like someone else. I wanted to talk like someone else, or preach like someone else, or be something else other than me. And so when I was able to finally get in touch with Michelle and finally get in love and fall in love with the scriptures that talked about God having a plan for me and that I am unique. Oh my goodness. I feel like I realized personally that that number one, that I started seeing that I did have gifts, and that, it was great. I mean, purpose, great. It was great having my purpose, but that never changes. But my gift, I couldn't see my gifts for my purpose. I don't know if that makes sense. And so I fall in love with my gifts. and I get out of this box that I had created myself. I mean, I spent all my time in this one little box and all the people and all the church and everybody. And I get out of this box into this whole new community, and I'm getting I'm finding out who I am and what I like and what makes me happy. And so I decided to create this little book called Born to Be. And this is why, this is so me. Now, let me tell you why it's me. Because anybody that knows me, I love color. I love to have fun, and that's just who I am. And I used to paint my house a lot, different colors, because I just love color. And so what happened, I decided that I was going to partner with God, Julie, after I graduated. I was going to partner with God because what I learned about myself was that I was a born server and that I love being generous. And so creating the book, along with my personality, oh my goodness, I feel like the whole heavens opened up for me because people started noticing. People started noticing about my book. And so I ended up just being in this space of it ended up being in this space of where people wanted to be around me and they wanted what I had and they wanted the book and they wanted me to speak and they wanted me to do this and they wanted me to do that. And just opportunities started happening when I started being myself. And it's just been amazing. It has been absolutely amazing.
It's crazy. It's so true. We are so afraid to be ourselves. And yet that is the very gateway to making the difference God intends for us to do. And I think, Michelle, the fact that it's true. She loves color. She loves having fun. She would bring her fun spirit to our class every week, to our retreat when we had that at the end of the year. It was so fun. Oh my gosh, our photo sessions and just the crazy fun things that we did, the beach, the hiking, the whatever we did so much fun stuff. But I think about how you have such a heart, and the service in particular is for children, to give them a better start. Really, like that was your thing. And so what really Born to Be is a positive affirmation coloring book. And I don't know if everyone in our audience realizes that, but those early years are so formative. And Michelle, has so much history and background about that. But as she worked in Africa, she worked in the Caribbean, she's worked in the US, helping different families and churches and things like that. She's observed a lot over the years. So for her to create this coloring book now, which has turned into a full-time job, because actually career or vision or dream or whatever you want to call it, through her Empower to Be company, she serves now elementary schools all around Alabama at this point. And who knows where God's going to open that up. And so, hundreds, if not thousands of coloring books have been supplied to these elementary schools for children to have a much better view of who they are. And I think what we talked about, Michelle, is that because our image of ourself is so misguided for so long, it has very lasting effects on us. And if we can help them when they're younger, have a better vision of who they are, their own gifts, their own strengths, children's, have a much different outcome earlier on than you or I did. And so Michelle has made it her mission to bring this renewed self-image to the children, a positive affirmation coloring book in a form that they would enjoy. Of course, they're not going to read the books and the big heavy Bibles that we read and things like that, but they're going to go to a coloring book and it's going to make a difference for them. So on top of that, I know that Michelle is not only does her company serve the school systems and many elementary school children, but she's been able to give also to her local food pantry. And I think you told me to date, you fed something like 600 children. Is
600 kids.
Yeah. With donations from her proceeds from her coloring books, which is incredible. On top of that, created an income for her family and impact for herself. And also, can you tell us a little bit about how that led to your CBS, Most Remarkable Woman nomination?
Well, it's what you said earlier. The greatest fear is being you. I mean, 3 years ago, or even maybe a year ago, I could not sit here on Zoom and have a conversation without thinking about who was watching, what people were going to say, because I was so afraid. You know, I was so afraid to give in that way. And basically, what happened, I decided to do, okay, what I really want to say is you never know who's watching.
Yeah, true.
You never know what conversation is going to make a difference, because what I've added to Empower the Dream is helping women to understand that how important parenting is, but also how to parent their own emotions, you know, because it's so easy to, you know, once you get going, you never know who's watching. And someone was watching me and decided, they heard about the CBS, that they were looking for the 2021 woman. And what they did was they wrote an essay about me. And so here CBS, they get hundreds of essays, Julie, and they go through the essays and they pick me as a finalist. I say that is God, you know? And so I'm at work one day, and when CBS calls you, you can tell, okay? I get this, I'm looking CBS, like what? And I was just blown away about the impact of making a decision to be me, the impact of making a decision to be unique, you know, to be different and to create a coloring book, how it has impacted my friends, my family, my husband, my girls. My girls get to watch me be happy and to be used by God in a different way. And it just makes me, it just makes me so happy to be able to serve in this way. And being on CBS, girl, let me tell you, that was amazing.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So, you know, one thing I wanted to just touch base on, because, you know, many women that I speak to, Michelle, hesitate to do this for a variety of reasons. When I say this, I mean invest time and money and heart into their own personal development, into getting a better view of yourself, into getting to know yourself. And you've spoken, you know, pretty firmly today about how that liberated you in so many ways. And yet so many women hesitate. Of course, you know, most of us women, we won't hesitate to spend thousands or whatever it takes to get our kid into school or to a sport or health or whatever, and understandably, but there are many women that I talk to that are very, very hesitant to spend the time, the money, and the heart. And you honestly had plenty of reasons not to do it back then in 2017, as I remember. I mean, your husband was ill, your daughter had just become ill. You know, you were, as you said, in a transition. You had a full-time job at the time still. I mean, there were a lot of reasons why you shouldn't take the time and money to invest. But tell me again, specifically, tell our audience again, how investing time, money, and heart into getting to know yourself through this program really bettered your faith, improved your impact, and your income.
Well, I will say this. I understand why most women would not want to invest or even make the time. Because, you know, as women, for me, I remember it took a minute for me to even join.
Yeah.
Because we are so distracted, you know, with taking care of family, doing our jobs, and we see taking care of ourselves as something else. It's an added, it's work. And you can't see it. You can't see that if you do, you know, you have the desire, you see you need to do something, because most women, I did feel that I needed to create that next chapter, but I had to also give myself that permission, that create that space. And I think too, I was driven by the pain of staying the same.
Yeah.
I had a lot of pain at the time, and I needed to make a change. And I really think that sometimes we could just get so comfortable in what we're doing and we keep putting ourselves off. And I know I'm guilty of that. And I know that could be a reason. But I also think that in life, you're either driven by pain or purpose. And I was being driven by pain to realize that if I didn't do something, that my life would never change. And honestly, that's when making that switch um, is what led me to Live Your Vision. But also, I wanted a different ministry. I love serving God. I love being with God. I love partnering with God. I love seeing the miracles of God in my life. And so when I started praying, God, give me another ministry, you know, I mean, if I had to think, God, give me another business, that felt like work. But when I started praying, God, give me another ministry, I could do that. I had been doing that for years, and that's always been a happy place for me. And so just praying, God, give me a new ministry, led me to serving the parents. God literally told me, go serve the parents, go serve the kids. And when I walked in that direction, that's when the floor opened up. You know, that's when God kept sending me opportunity after opportunity. And literally, when the school called me and ordered 750 copies, I remember thinking, God, of all the things I've done in this world, I've never seen my name on a check with that many zeros. I just thought, what in the world? What just happened? I just was like, okay, you know, and it just helped my confidence in God. It brought my relationship with God again. I can't stress enough that if you're on this Zoom, that means you know what you know that you're looking for that next chapter. And that I just want to encourage you to just start making little steps to create that space, because everything that I was looking for, honestly, this book gave me. Everything I was looking for personally, spiritually, with my family, creating this book gave me the space to enjoy the life that I'm living now.
So much. Thank you so, so much. Honestly, Michelle, what I hear from you is just this overflow now. And when you come from a deficit like that of serving so many others, and then you have some disappointments or some hurts or some just hardships like illness or, things that don't work out, like all of us do, it's time to fill up. It's time to get to know ourselves and be refueled and get a new partnership with God, like renew our partnership with God, whatever that might look like. And I love that the way that you just expressed, like, no, you didn't look at it as another business, although that's the way God took it, is that you looked at it as another way to serve, another way, another ministry. Give me another ministry. And honestly, it is the absolute joy of my life too. And I totally agree. Live Your Vision is my next ministry as well, chapter. I call it that all the time. And yet it has been incredibly lucrative, honestly. And it's funny because, and I really look at it the way God is just taking care of you and me. He promises, when you serve him, he will take care of you. And so he's doing that now, financially, emotionally, spiritually, with relationships, and these, like you're saying, these opportunities, the doors keep flying open. And even partnering with old friends to do new things, right? Which is what you and I have gotten to experience. Our friendship taking a new flavor, right? A new challenge, a new turn. So I'm so excited about that. I want to conclude with just how having your own vision has changed you in how it's not only been good for what, we talked about it in our previous vision talk, that, there's a difference between a goal, which is real task oriented, a dream, even, which has imagination, and then a vision, which is partnership with the divine, right? So the vision actually has the tests, of course, as a part of it. It also has the imagination that's a part of it, but it has the additional element of the divine being a part of it, the partnership with God. And so tell me now, how has having your own vision, not someone else's vision, but your own vision that God has placed within you, transformed your life and the life of those you love?
I would say, Julie, the biggest way it has transformed me is that I was someone who really allowed fear, guilt, and shame and distractions, really, what people said, really just hold me back from being me.
That's powerful. And so how has it affected those you love around you now that I mean, you mentioned it earlier on, but just tell us a little bit about Frank and Jacqueline and Kenya and how they feel about what you're doing now. I know they're excited for you, but give us a little more detail.
Okay. Well, Frank thinks I'm a totally different person. He's like, who is this woman in my house now? He said, you're not the same person. You know?
Love it. I love it. I love it.
And I love learning. I love being on someone's podcast. I love listening to different speakers. I enjoy, just that whole self-development space. I love it. Kenya and Jacqueline, I think they finally enjoy seeing me be happy about something. I'm able to buy some things now. Like, I feel like, God has, I feel like God has blessed me with a chapter that has changed the story that people are used to seeing me in. That I have, my story is no longer pain anymore. And so they're excited that my story is now, they're like, Kenya's like, Mom, you're a queen. You're thriving. You're what? It's like, it's just been amazing that when you partner with God and get out of the way, God's miracles just show up, and he will send you your help. He'll send you the finances. You just have to just want it a little bit more than you do. And my life is totally like honestly, I go in my DMs today and I will see, oh, can you speak on my platform? Or people that I know that my boss even, I mean, I'm with my boss and we're with all these people, and I never really spoke up in a meeting. So it's changed the way people see me at work. And he had me share my CBS interview with the entire, department, with my whole team. And it's just been a way. I feel like God has given me this way to celebrate myself. Like, because, I've seen it with you, Julie. I remember when we came to your home and we were doing that retreat and you were sharing all the opportunities you would have. And you just think, wow, could that be me? And to finally be here, it is an amazing joy, because as I give and serve, I see people are like, wow, can I serve you too? And it's just a beautiful exchange of relationship. And I see I don't know where this is going. But I'm here for it. I'm excited. And I'm excited I get to just be me and not care about what people say, their compliments or opinions. It doesn't matter anymore. I am Michelle Griffith Davis, and I have a message, and I want to spread love and positivity, and I want to help women understand that to stop giving up on themselves, to just really take that extra hour a day and do something for yourself, because you never know. The world is really waiting for you.
Thank you so much, my friend. It gives me goosebumps hearing you say that. And
Wow.
oh my gosh, just watching your transformation has been so much fun, and walking with you, partnering with you, and just seeing God work his magic through you and your family. It's incredible. So I just want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to include in the email and in the Facebook group the contact information for Michelle. So if you're looking for anybody else has any school children or any other groups of children, or just yourself. I bought one just for myself because it's so cool. I wanted to see it. But the Born to Be coloring books, obviously her empoweredtodream.com website, which that'll all be in there too, and any other opportunities. Michelle obviously speaks. She motivates people incredibly. She's got a long history of being able to do that. So in any way that you want to connect with Michelle, all the information will be in the email and also in the Facebook group. And please remember, the way we shared last time, I am a firm believer that without vision, people perish. Michelle and I truly have felt the weight of that. We have felt the weight of having no vision for our life. It made
Mhm.
us sick emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And if you're feeling like you have no vision for yourself right now, you're feeling the weight of that scripture on your soul, then by all means reach out to us. Do not wait. I appreciate what Michelle said. She got to a place in her point in her life where the pain drove her. I cannot stay here anymore. And if
Mhm.
that's where you're at, then take action today. Reach out, contact us, and
Yes.
we will help you figure out your next step. We've got a proven pathway to help you do that, as illustrated by Michelle. So thank you so much. These we know that you can't live without vision. So pray you'll
Yes.
come back next week, next month, when we have our next vision talk, and that we will see you in the Facebook group, and you'll reach out to us. Let us serve you in any way that we can. Much love, and know that the world really does need what you have. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Julie.